What is up? This is the 5th episode of PC On Air, and I'm joined by
Ella McGuire,
Raven Shots,
and Kyla Kinman.
Our segments for this week will be information on the Delphi murders, a interview with Mr. DeCrane about Dia de los Muertos, and interviews about favorite teachers. And stay tuned for a mystery food review.
On February 13th, 2017, two Indiana teenagers, Abigail Williams, 13, and Liberty German, 14, went missing. It wasn't until the next day, February 14th, 2017, that they were found murdered in the forest outside of Delphi, Indiana. It has been 2,086 days since they were found, with a singular video of the man who may have murdered them on one of the girls' phones. After these 2,086 days, the police have spent investigating and searching for the man who killed the two girls. They finally made an arrest on October 28th, 2022. Delphi resident Richard Allen, 50, was arrested and charged with 2 counts of murder. We currently know very little about why the police have arrested Allen, but what we do know is that whatever was found was enough for the court to charge him immediately.
But they didn't say what evidence they found?
No, they haven't released the evidence. We won't know the evidence until the first court trial, which isn't until March.
Well, I mean, think about it. It was like 7 years?
It was in 2017, so it's been almost 5.5 years.
Oh, okay. Well, you gotta think, it's been that long. I wonder what kind of evidence they would have had to find.
Something pretty definitive.
Yeah, like bones or like an ID. Well, they wouldn't have an ID. They're kids.
No,
What?
it wouldn't be bones because their bodies were found.
Oh, yeah.
How did they die?
They were murdered, I think, stabbed.
Probably like,
A knife.
yeah, like the knife with the DNA on it or something.
Clothes, because they said that they think something from the girls was missing, so clothing, something that the girls were known for wearing a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As you may or may not know, Dia de los Muertos is happening the week that we are posting this podcast, and so I interviewed Mr. DeCrane for a little bit more information about the holiday. I'm here with Mr. DeCrane. We're going to talk about the Day of the Dead. So can you give a brief description of the Day of the Dead?
Sure. It's a Latino holiday, and primarily, probably a better way of describing it is a Mexican holiday, because really it's only in Mexico where they really celebrate it. And it basically combines some of the ancient Christian traditions and some of the traditions for the Native Americans that live throughout Mexico to remember and honor the dead. And really and truly, it's not so much honoring the dead as it is a way to help with the healing process and just to remember the good memories of people that have moved on or have passed away, and just to kind of help with the healing process, just to remember them and in some ways hopefully keep their spirit alive.
So when is Dia de los Muertos celebrated?
So November 2nd, and it coincides again with kind of the ancient Christian holiday of All Souls Day. So they will do it typically it might be a several day thing. It starts at sundown, tonight with the mass, and then they'll go through all day tomorrow and then a little bit through into November. But usually the primary celebrations will be on November 2nd.
Okay. So what are some of the main traditions that they do for Day of the Dead?
Like ways to celebrate it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, one of the biggest things you'll see here up around my classroom and then out in the hallway is they'll do like a memorial to those that have passed on, similar to kind of the cemeteries you see around Petersburg, where people will leave little mementos outside the cemeteries. In Mexico, they'll either do it at the cemetery or they might do it at home. Sometimes they call them altars, which I think has kind of a weird connotation, and I really like how Coco called it the ofrenda, and I think the ofrenda is kind of a better term for it, kind of like an offering or just a way of remembering it. And what it does is similar to the United States, where we leave different things outside cemeteries. Like I remember when I took care of a cemetery one summer, there was a guy that really liked racing, so they would put racing cars out there, maybe a Dale Earnhardt flag. They'll do something similar. They'll put some of the favorite foods outside, things that help them remember. And then there's certain things that, kind of like with a Memorial Day where we'll put flags in red, white, and blue. They use the orange marigold petals, the flower petals, because that signifies kind of gold and kind of the heavenly, otherworldly atmosphere. And then candles, the papel picado, which is like kind of the cutout paper, and little flags and stuff like that. They might put out special foods and other things along the lines with there. And like you'll see in my classroom, kind of we talk about the ancient native Mexican tradition, kind of in those temples. So if anyone's ever been to Cancun and seen like Tulum or some of the Mayan temples where they got kind of that Lego pyramid thing, but more like the Lego shape, they'll make the ofrendas in a similar way. And I kind of tried to do that this year with the ofrenda inside the classroom.
Awesome. What would you say is your favorite part or activity of Day of the Dead?
I think my favorite part is remembering those that have passed on, those that, having those good memories. I didn't really have grandparents growing up, and when I lived out west in Oregon and Alaska, my extended family's from there. My aunt and uncle were like grandparents to me, and I always kind of do a memorial to my Uncle Phil, and it just makes me happy. It really helps me with the healing process, and it just makes me happy and feel like he's kind of with me that day as I kind of go through and share the stories and the different things along the lines. I know Uncle Phil probably would be open to the idea of Day of the Dead, but he would kind of say, James is just getting into to the Mexican holiday, but I see the point of it. And he was just kind of an easygoing guy, and I just have fond memories that day. It just kind of remembers, and I think kind of like what you see in Coco, really and truly, he kind of is with me that kind of in a special way that day, because you're really kind of focusing on it, which is really kind of cool.
Is there any other information, fun facts about Day of the Dead you'd like to share?
I think it's a really big holiday. It is definitely only in Mexico. I think the biggest thing I really would like to highlight is it's a happy day. It's not a sad day. So like when we do the ofrendas in class, I always tell people, make sure, it's not someone that recently passed away where you're still trying to deal with the hurt of someone passing away. But one of the things that's most challenging about humanity is the fact that we are mortal, that we're not here forever, and we have to deal with death. And it's an unfortunate part of life, but I think this is a really healthy way to look at it and really try and get through the grief. And if someone's out there listening, I always kind of tell people that when you first lose someone, grief, I think what was defined to me in a way that a really poignant way that really sticks with me is grief is love with nowhere to go. And after, you get through the initial shock of someone passing away and you work through the emotions there, you learn ways to adapt and to help manage that love and put that love into some other place to remember someone that's passed away. And you learn to channel that and keep that person's memory alive. And so that's, I think, the biggest thing that I really would like to highlight about it. And then if anyone would like to, even if you're not a Spanish student, you can talk to me or Ms. Mendel, and we will give you a skull or something like that. If you want to put the name up on the wall, just remember someone as we go through this month of remembrance for Day of the Dead.
I'd just like to say thank you again to Mr. DeCrane for the interview, and make sure you check out the hallway between Mr. DeCrane's room and Mrs. Mendel's room for some cool decorations.
Well, my segment is on favorite teachers, and I was like, I wonder who the favorite teachers are, because it's been a while. And so I decided to go down to the cafeteria and figure it out. And I asked 4 different people, maybe 5, there's quite a few, about who their favorite teacher was. And I got some surprising results, because I expected it to be a lot of, Miss Hedge is my favorite teacher, because Miss Hedge is just awesome. But I didn't get any Miss Hedge ones. So shout out to Miss Hedge. And this is what I got.
Miss Hedge is really nice. One day she brought in drawings for me to look at, and they were really, really neat.
Exactly. Underappreciated. Underrated, for sure. So this is what I got. What is your name?
Scott.
Alright, who is your favorite teacher at the school?
Elliot.
Elliot? Why is Elliot your favorite teacher?
This is my elective PE.
Based, very based.
And the most fun class I have.
Yeah. Who's your favorite teacher at the school? Howald. What's your name?
Tatum.
Alright, Tatum. Who's your favorite teacher at the school?
Mrs. Vintage.
Oh, why?
I just really like her.
Yeah, that's a popular one. Who's your favorite teacher at the school?
Mr. Howald.
Nice. Why is Mr. Howald your favorite?
He teaches construction, and he's given me some jobs, so.
That's fair enough. He gives a lot of opportunities. What about you, Smeech? Who's your favorite teacher? Plumper. He was my favorite teacher in junior year, I think. He's a pretty good teacher.
My favorite teacher, I have a lot of teachers here that I like, but I think my favorite is definitely gonna have to be Miss Boner. She's really nice, and I like how helpful she's been. especially whenever it comes to books and like telling me books. I have been introduced to so many different new genres of books that I've never read before, and it's like she knows the books that she's read would be books that I would love because I end up reading them and I end up absolutely loving them. But she's also just like a really good teacher, like how she teaches things.
She's been really helpful with the podcast.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because this is just like a new thing for all of us.
Brand new.
So it's definitely exciting. I'm going to say my favorite teacher is probably Miss Vintage or Mr. Ross. Miss Vintage, I like the way she teaches. I like the way she turns a book into not just a book, but like the actual meaning. And I can't always see that on my own, so it's really nice to have those class discussions about that.
She's like meant to be a college professor, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think she would be so good with them, and she's just like really smart.
And I think she definitely enjoys the lecturing part of class more than the rest of it. So, Mr. Ross, he's a stand-up guy. What can I say? He makes the best dad jokes. He paints a real good duck. He paints a mean duck.
They're not all mean. Some of them are happy.
And some of them are sweet and cuddly.
He's gonna help me draw a dead duck for the duck stamp competition.
Oh, that's
Is that
weird.
actually what you're doing?
That's actually what I'm doing.
Like-
I was yesterday. I was in class and we're looking up concepts, and I'm gonna do one. And I was like, I wonder if that's like against the rules. And I asked him, and like with a straight face, he's like, no, that's not against the rules. I was like, all right, well, that's what I'm doing then. So
Like bloody?
no, not like bloody, just dead.
Like taxidermy?
No, just dead. I think McDivitt is my personal favorite teacher this year, and Miss Eigel. It's a close tie, because I think McDivitt just has like a more laid back vibe if you're actually doing what you need to do in her class, and it's just beneficial for learning, I guess. Miss Eigel, she's puts a lot of effort into her job and does it well, and I know a lot of people don't really appreciate it, but I definitely think it's good because there's not a lot of teachers like that anymore.
We are about to open. Miss Bonert has left an upside down cauldron.
A plastic
with
cauldron.
A mystery food underneath for us to try, test, and review. So we're opening it now.
Everyone put their hands on it.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's baby food!
Wait, I love baby.
What kind is it? What kind is it?
Oh, this one's chicken
Ooh.
and chicken broth.
Apple, pumpkin, and cinnamon?
Oh, this looks so good.
That's like what baby Karen's eat.
That one,
Chicken and chicken.
that
That's
one,
cursed.
I don't know about that one.
It's so liquidy. Look, it's like
So,
Give it here.
2 of them are the same brand, Beech Nut, and one of them is Gerber's Organic for Baby.
Look how jiggly it is.
Ew.
It's so like. Okay,
all right. What are we gonna review first?
let's try a good one first.
Let's do apple, pumpkin, and
Yeah,
cinnamon.
let's go best to worst.
So, the apple, pumpkin, and cinnamon flavors what we're gonna try now.
We should do a smell
It's
test
the,
first.
Give it a whiff. Yeah,
It's the Beech Nut brand.
It
It smells delicious, like applesauce.
It's kind of like orange.
It does have like a applesauce, but I can taste and I can like smell the pumpkin
It's
in it.
like
though.
You can
so
really smell the
thick,
pumpkin.
though.
It is very thick.
But it's just so subtle.
I
that-
feel like it's more thick because of the pumpkin in it.
yeah, that's probably what it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
mix it up. Mix it up.
Beech Nut baby food ASMR.
Okay. Now we're gonna spoon it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's try.
let's-
Wait, dig it and sing it, guys.
Oh,
Digging
yeah,
it.
dude,
We're
we
digging
gotta-
it. You already licked it, so I don't want to touch it.
Clink.
Clink.
I feel like a kid again.
Mmm.
There's like no flavor.
No.
Girl,
It's
are you tripping?
like apple cinnamon
Yeah, I can't taste any of the pumpkin, honestly.
applesauce.
It's so like there's.
Pumpkin is always subtle anyway.
Yeah,
Like you
pumpkin is
really
very
can't
subtle.
taste the
See, I
pumpkin.
feel like all I can taste is pumpkin.
Yeah, I can't taste the pumpkin. I can like smell it.
You're probably
but, like-
tasting pumpkin spice. I mean,
Can babies have pumpkin spice?
I don't know.
yes.
Okay, I've never like had baby food as a non-baby. So like this is a really nice experience. It's such a strange texture, it just like melts in your mouth completely. I was expecting
weird.
it to
It
be
just
more-
reminds me of applesauce.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
is the exact texture of applesauce.
To me, it's not because
It's
it
like a
just,
little bit
goes
looser.
away.
It's a little looser than applesauce, I think.
It is,
Applesauce is better.
Yeah,
than this.
definitely. You know.
but it definitely just kind of tastes like apple, like cinnamon.
Yeah, it's just like
Applesauce.
a muted flavor.
Yeah.
In terms of all the baby food that I've eaten knowingly that I can recall, I rate this a solid 8 out of 10. It's based. I would
It's
eat this
pretty
again
good.
if I had to.
It's definitely not as chunky as applesauce. Like, it's obviously made for babies,
Yeah.
so it's easy to swallow.
They've, like,
Wow, what kind of indicated that this was made for babies?
I'm gonna have to say the.
Babies should eat this everywhere. We should make like a specific food.
She
and this
said,
should be
I
what they eat.
asked her, like, I was talking about what it would be, and she was like, you've probably had it before.
So
Okay.
overall, I think that one is good.
That's-
Yeah.
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
If
I
were
like
a
the
baby,
spices.
I would
in it.
enjoy that. I'm not a baby and I enjoy it.
Now the one that I'm scared for.
The apple spinach with kale?
Ew.
Yeah.
You should
I'm
be scared of
scared
the
for the
freaking chicken and chicken broth, bro.
This is like baby
I think
gym
we need
rat
to do.
food.
We need to do
Terrified.
chicken and chicken broth next.
Okay,
so
so
maybe
we
that
can
one is
cleanse
Honestly
better.
though, I feel like this would actually be good. I feel like it'd be just
Maybe
I'm
it tastes
scared.
like soup.
yeah, like soup.
Okay,
like
we're
a
gonna
good
do
soup.
open.
Ooh. That was-
Oh no, it looks so disgusting. Okay, we're gonna do a sniff.
Oh no. I might
It smells like cat food.
Oh god.
That is
This is
awful.
terrible.
That is disgusting.
That's
I
bad.
vomit. I'm sorry.
Why didn't you tell us to get waters
It
before
just
this?
smells like canned chicken.
No, it smells bad. It smells like ungodly.
It smells like skunk to me.
No, that's exactly what canned chicken smells like.
Skunk.
I would no, I don't eat
That doesn't
canned
smell like
chicken.
skunk.
Canned chicken.
For those who don't know, if
Alright,
you've ever
guys.
seen like chicken, it's pretty much chicken and liquid, and we're trying to mix it up right now. But all the chicken has clumped together in the middle.
Completely
That's the
different.
chicken.
Completely
Well, it does make
different than
sense
the
because
pumpkin.
it's chicken and chicken broth. You know, the broth's at the top, but I mixed the broth in, I think.
Babies.
This doesn't have any flavoring, so the ingredients says it's just finely ground chicken and chicken broth. This is for stage 1 babies, 4 months and up. You know, I'm older than 4 months. Maybe that's surprising, but
You know what it looks like?
What's 18 times 12?
It looks like chewed up
63.
Ew.
63 months.
That's what it looks like. It looks like chewed up chicken.
No.
Ugh, it looks like vomit.
I know, it's like
Okay.
I'm gonna hold my nose.
We're gonna dink it and sink it. Oh god.
Oh boy.
Why are you getting so much?
Kyle.
I wanted to get it like a fair amount, you know, I wanted to taste it.
oh, that was a close
Okay.
one. That didn't happen.
And sink it. No!
Ugh.
Mmm.
Ugh. Oh, that is bad.
I almost threw up.
Tasted like watered down chicken.
It's just like chicken with zero flavor.
No, it's
Yeah.
more like tuna,
Ground it
honestly.
into a paste, yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
If someone told me this was tuna, I wouldn't question it.
Neither would I. It tastes more like
If someone
tuna.
told me this is vomit, I wouldn't question
Neither
it.
would I,
Right?
honestly. This is
Baby
like
vomit.
This
This
is like
does
the
look like
consistency-
baby vomit.
Like when
That
my
makes
brother's
sense.
dog, it's like a big Saint Bernard pukes on the kitchen floor. This is that. I have cleaned this up
Ugh.
with paper towels before, off the ground. Out
I don't
the
know if
door.
I'm gonna be able to eat lunch.
It has like little
It's a fish
pieces in
sandwich
it inside of the liquid part that just make it awful.
It's just like grainy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
grainy, and it gets stuck in your mouth. Like those
Need
big
to
parts don't
wipe
go
off
away.
my spoon now.
Oh, true.
It's traumatizing almost.
You ate more.
I just licked my
Uh-oh.
spoon off.
But it's so bad. Oh.
Overall, bad.
Bad.
Don't feed
Don't-
that to your baby.
Don't do it, man.
Unless
Don't
you
do
hate them.
it. Yeah, like
Honestly,
no.
they wouldn't know any
Hold
better
on.
though,
I'm
because
so
they
glad I
probably haven't had really good food because they're just babies. But it's
Yeah,
still
exactly.
bad.
It's really bad.
My baby will be vegetarian. I don't. None of that.
D tier. D tier.
Okay. Last but certainly not least,
I gotta like.
Gerber Organic for Baby Apple Spinach with Kale. This sounds so up my alley. I think it's gonna be delicious, personally. We're having Smarties for palate cleansers.
Yeah.
Oh god, this is like baby food. Baby food.
Yeah.
I don't have. Everything's just. I'm not licking this either.
Yeah, just knock it off. It's really It kind
You
of
can
looks
have
like
this
wet paper.
spoon if you want. That's been soaking in the.
No, God, no. Here, I'm
Oh,
gonna
we
just use
forgot to
this end.
sniff
We
it.
should
We have to pass
close
it around and
this up.
sniff it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
forgot to do the sniff test.
Oh God, it smells a lot like kale.
It does.
No.
Kale Speedy or Kale Young?
Yeah, it smells leafy, greeny.
Yes, kale.
I mean, it's better than the chicken.
Definitely.
I don't think it smells like.
I wonder,
Yeah, it smells.
can you get a tongue transplant?
Yeah, I'm picking up a lot of kale and a good amount of apple. Clink it and sink
Dink it,
Clink.
dink, and sink.
Oh yeah, that's really kale-y.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. That's the best one, actually.
Okay.
The apple one was the best.
No, that's the best. This is
I think it's good.
This is
Yeah.
this is where it's at, man.
It does taste leafy, but it's good. Like it's subtle, and the apple like balances
Yeah.
it out.
You know what? I've had just about enough baby food today. I'm ready for some real food.
Well, this has been episode 5 of PC On Air. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you all next time.